Hey everyone, welcome back to the True Blue Podcast. I am your host, Zachary Succardi. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Podcast True Blue. We're here for session 11. It is Monday night, March 16th. I was just playing the kalimba, which is sort of like it's like a thumb piano, if you will. It's an African instrument. I got it in Taos, New Mexico. It's made out of a coconut. Really cool. Really fun to play with. Yeah, it's really neat. My homie Tyler said that he likes that I play drums instead of tapping on the table. So he suggested I maybe play this. So it's pretty cool. It's been a while since I played this little thing, though. It's pretty neat. Anyway, here we are. It's fucking Monday night. We're here. We're back at it. I took off last week. You know, I kind of fell into a little bit of a depression last week. I found it hard to get anything done. Had a lot of time, but really didn't get a lot done. Sometimes I've noticed that when I get depressed, I'm just like super unproductive. But one thing I will say is I still went to the gym. I still did my exercises. I still had my food plan. I was still in it, which is real important because I know somewhere, even if it doesn't feel it at the time, it kind of like registers. It clicks off that like checkbox for me that says, hey, despite being in a sullen mood, I still tried. I still put forth some effort. So for me, going into this week, that really has helped me kind of come out of my depression and shake it off a little bit. Doing this podcast definitely helps. It's good to talk things out. It's good to be open and honest about how you're feeling. We're all human. We all go through things. We're all emotional. So, very important. So happy to be sharing that with everyone here. Tomorrow is St. Paddy's Day. It's March 17th. I am Irish. I'm half Irish. I come from an Irish family. I was raised by my mom's side, who was all Irish, 100% Irish. And then there's me and my sister, who are only 50%. But anyway, I don't like corned beef and cabbage. I never did. I like Irish soda bread. I love potatoes. I love potatoes like through and through. I'm not really a big drinker. I probably even haven't had a drink at all this year. I drink very rarely. So I'm not really into the, Irish drinking thing. I don't fight either. I'm not really, I get angry, sure, and I'm stubborn as hell, but I don't fight. So being Irish on St. Paddy's Day, it's cool. Green's cool. I've always liked the color green, and with all the Irish stuff, there's a couple of really cool Irish sayings that I'm going to share with you guys. I'll probably share them on Instagram or Twitter. Some pretty cool ones. I went to Ireland once. I may have mentioned this before. I went in 2001. I actually broke edge over there. So up until 2001 and going to Europe, I was straight edge. Didn't do drugs, didn't smoke, none of that shit. Excuse me. When I went to Ireland, I guess it just felt right. I was on vacation in a new country, and it was a big deal for me to be in Ireland, coming from an Irish family. I was so happy to be there. I almost felt like I made my mom and my grandmother proud just being there, just getting to be in Ireland. So yeah, I had my first drink over there. It was a lot of fun, until it wasn't, because it definitely wasn't at a certain point. I definitely felt all the effects, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so that's cool. I went to Ireland. I'd like to go back one of these days. It's definitely one of those places that I'm like, want to go, check out more of Ireland. So here we are. We're here. It's session 11. We got that coronavirus bullshit going on. And I'm all for being smart, washing your hands, taking your vitamins, drinking your water, keeping distance and stuff and playing it safe. But what I'm not for is I'm not for people fucking freaking out. I'm not for people going to the grocery store like crazy. buying all this shit. I'm not for people trying to convince you that it's, serious business and why are you out? Why are you living your life? Why are you still doing things? And I have some really close friends, people who I love and I think have are very smart, and they're really taking the whole angle of like, you gotta prep and you have to buy all this stuff and it's going to be months, and they're really freaking out. And honestly, for me, like, I'll joke about it, I'll listen, but after a while, I'm like, all right, that's enough. Let me live. So, I went to the gym today. I swam my laps, did the sauna. I've been eating out. I'm washing my hands and showering and being clean, but, I'm definitely not freaking out. But just how people have been responding, it really turns me off, to be honest with you. So I'm happy to be here doing this podcast. Hopefully this is something that you guys can check out and, take a break from all that madness and craziness that, that you're seeing everywhere on social media, you're hearing from your coworkers, you're seeing on the news. Take a deep breath. You have to be smart, you have to be informed, but comes a certain point where you got to say, that's enough. I got to live. You know what I mean? I got to live. Let me live. So that's my little coronavirus pepperoni pizza eater. I'll probably never mention it again unless that shit is, ongoing. Even then, I'll probably barely mention it because I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing about it. Even just the word corona, like, I hear it coming out of people's mouths, and I'm just like, ugh, can we talk about something else, please? Ugh. Anyway, here we are. We're just chilling. It's Monday night, the 16th. I got some of my plans to New Jersey solidified. Shout out to my little brother who's picking me up from the airport. Shout out to my friend Tom who's driving me to Philly to get to that wedding. And then shout out to my homie Kevin, who I'm going to be spending some time with while I'm in Philly. I'll be in Philly for like 2 or 3 days. We had talked this last weekend and kind of solidified some of the itinerary of like what I'll be doing, how long I'll be there. So that feels good that things are definitely coming together on this trip. Hopefully it happens. It's in May. I think that should be enough time. But again, I don't know. I'll just take it day by day. But yeah, I am excited. The more and more the trip comes together, the different stages of the planning, the buying the tickets, all the things that, that I'll be doing with renting a car, and then just hanging out, just chilling with my mom, doing the mundane, chilling with friends. I'll only be in Jersey for a little bit because I'll just be there like a week. I'm coming back again in August. That's like for the main vacation, but I'm just going to be just hanging out. To be honest with you, too, going to New Jersey in May is kind of boring to me. I'd much rather go in the fall. For those of you who've never been to New Jersey or the East Coast, I'm going to give you a tip. Go in the fall. Go in the fucking fall. It's the best. Sometimes fall is only like a 2-week window because it goes summer to winter. But when you're there and you see all the trees changing colors, and the smell, there's a crisp smell of a New Jersey fall that is so like entangled in nostalgic and just, memories and things that I just cherish. And it's just such a, it's such a great time to be there. And you just can't beat it. It has that smell and that coolness, sweatshirt weather. You're not freezing, you're not sweating, you're just wearing a sweatshirt, you're just chilling. That's the best. So, but I'm going in May because my friends are getting married. I can't decide when people get married. And then I'm going in the summer for some concerts and just to go and chill. I'd probably go again in the fall, but I'm excited to have this stuff planned. Life is about having something to look forward to, no matter how small or how big. So, here we are. We're going to get into the self-care tip of the week. And I decided to talk about, I decided to make the self-care tip of the week. And the tip is to tell someone you love them. You don't necessarily have to say I love you. There's many different ways that you could say I love you without saying those words. I'm fortunate enough to be able to say that to most of my friends and family. I don't have a problem with saying it. I don't have a problem with expressing it. It's funny, I have some siblings who can say it, and then I have some siblings who can't. They say it in other ways, but I sometimes have a little fun with them, and I'm always like, I love you, or I joke with one of my siblings, and I'm like, I tell him I'm like, you should go talk to Brian and just tell him how much you love him, and, take him in your arms, and just being stupid, but it's just something that I noticed. And I will say this, for me, it's very important, and although there are the different love languages that I'm about to get into, to hear those words, it's very nice. And I'm grateful that I do have a couple siblings who are able to say that. Friends as well. It's kind of neat. I think when I started getting into my 30s, I started telling some of my friends, and they started telling me that they, that we love each other, at the end of conversations and things. And it's really cool. You spent, years with these people, and you've gone through things, and just to kind of hear it as you get older, a little bit more commonplace, is real nice. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about the 5 different love languages. There's actually a book on this. There's a quiz that you can take online. I think it's just 5lovelanguages.com, the number 5, and then love languages. If you Google it, you can easily find it. So I took this quiz, and it broke down the 5 love languages in the order of strongest, in the order from strongest to weakest for me. I should say weakest. That's really not good, but the strongest, or the whatever, my strongest love language to the one that I don't, I guess use the most, or whatever the fuck. So let me just read through the love languages, and then I will break down. There's like a little paragraph for each one that kind of explains like what it's about. And I'll just try to paraphrase. I'm not going to read you guys paragraphs. It's kind of wiggity. All right, so acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, receiving gifts, and physical touch. Those are the 5 love languages there. So for me, the number 1 love language was acts of service that speak to me the most. And, this is a good one because, I just mentioned some of my siblings who can't say I love you, and the 2 that I'm thinking about, one of them's picking me up from the airport. We talk a lot on the phone. This brother of mine listens. He's a really good listener. Really cares about you and what you're saying and feeling, and just being there. That's an act of service. And he's picking me up from the airport. I mean, that is a huge. Living here in Albuquerque, the airport's so close. It's a nice favor, but when you live in Jersey and you gotta get someone to take you to the airport or pick you up, that's a big deal. That's right up there with helping someone move. It really is, because getting to the airport sucks. It just sucks. Whether you go to JFK, you go to Newark, any of the airports back east, it's definitely a trek. So that's definitely a big act of service when it comes to this love language. But yeah, just having someone do something for you, help shoulder the burden of whatever. I mentioned moving. That's a big one, which, by the way, I do not like helping people move because I hate lifting undistributed weight. It's just asking to get injured. I mean, I'll move shit around, I'll help like find you a moving company, but I'm not one of your moving friends. I will be an airport friend though. And I come through in, other ways which make me awesome, but I'm just not trying to help you move. But that is a big one. That really is a big one. So yeah, acts of service. So keep that in mind, you may know someone who's really not open or comfortable with saying I love you, or maybe some of these other love languages like physical touch or things like that. But acts of service is definitely a big one. One that I've had to like kind of translate over time to realize that this is someone's love language. So the next one on here for me is quality time. And really that's huge. All we have on this earth is time. I mean, that's it. And, that's the most valuable thing. Sometimes, like, I've taking days off from work where maybe I would have gotten paid or paid more for a holiday, but my time is so much more valuable than getting paid extra or, standing in line somewhere or whatever the case is. So to actually give someone your quality time, whether you're listening, spending time with them, going with them somewhere, watching TV, it could be the most mundane thing, but just that you're spending that time with them really means a lot. I know for me, when I go back to New Jersey and I get to spend time with my friends and I get to spend time with my mom and my family, we're just doing the normal shit. I mean, we go grocery shopping, we eat pizza, we watch TV. My mom loves watching TV, so I'll watch the local news with her. And it's cool. It's just important to me to spend that actual time, with her, and just being with someone. I don't know if it's getting older or maybe this is just something I've just sort of just realized, but just being with friends and doing nothing. I mean, literally, like going for a walk, working out together. I mean, yeah, you're doing stuff, but like it just being with that person is really what the biggest sell is for me. What the biggest takeaway is, and it makes whatever activity that you're doing just much easier. So the next one is words of affirmation. Like, I love you, I miss you, I'm thinking about you. This is a big one for me. Anytime someone has told me that they've been thinking about me, or like they'll hear a song and they're like, man, Zach, I heard this song and it made me think of you. That is so awesome. Just that I've crossed their stream of consciousness and they decided to share that with me is so great. That people will actually think of you is so amazing. I mean, you're not even with them. You're not even in the same state or time zone, and they're thinking of you. And then when they take the time, the quality time, to reach out and say, hey, I thought of you. I saw this clip from this, Seinfeld episode, and it made me think of you. Or, I heard this song, or I saw this, this person who kind of looked like you, or whatever the case is. That's always really, really, really special to me. And then hearing I love you, it means a lot, especially coming from certain people. Like your parents, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife. Something about it. For me, this is just for me, it really means something to me. And then someone, just expressing their feelings, that they're there for you, that you're not forgotten. They're encouraging you. They're trying to, help you thrive. Things like that really do go a long way. So that's the third one on the list here for the 5 love languages. And then coming in at 4th is receiving gifts. This one's an interesting one because really it's more just the thought behind the actual gift. And honestly, anytime I've been given gifts, especially that someone actually made, if someone makes me a gift, I am blown away. I really am, because they created something and then they're sharing and giving it to me. I mean, like it's one of those things that like it just really goes a long way. I actually have a painting that my grandmother painted me back in 2001. It's a painting of this angel that if my apartment burned down, there'd be 2 things I would grab. Or say 3 things. One is my dog, because I love my dog, obviously. I'm not a fucking piece of shit. I'm going to save my dog. Second is this painting that my grandmother did for me. And third is probably my hockey jersey that I got when I was a kid. I got a New Jersey Devils jersey with my last name on it and my number. So those are the 3 things that if my house burns down, that I'm going to take with me. But anyway, yeah. So my grandmother made me this. Oh, sorry. My grandmother made me this painting, and it just means so much to me. Like, it's just the best. And anytime you have, a gift you're excited to like give someone is the best feeling. I recently got my sister this Smiths shirt. It was like a mashup between the Smiths and Married with Children. and I sent it to her, and she got it like last week, and it was just so cool. I love sending gifts when the person doesn't know, and then it just shows up at their door. That is the best. That whole sneak attack vibe. I just love that. Because you're going about your day. It could be whatever kind of day, and all of a sudden you get a gift from someone, and it's like, oh shit, look at this. So that's definitely one that I want to shout here. Receiving gifts really is. It's really like a great thing to be able to share and see something that makes you think of someone and actually sharing it with them. Really cool. All right, so last but not least on the 5 love languages is physical touch. This one's interesting because it came up last for me. Very, very important. Whether you're hugging someone, you're just putting your arm around them. Anything, pat on the back, whatever, high five, a handshake, whatever the fuck. The physical touch goes a long way. It's very powerful. It really is. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into healing when it comes to physical touch. Obviously, with massage therapy and things like that, but touch really does really say a lot when it comes to the love languages. Sometimes people, they don't have the right words, or a lot of times when people suffer death in the family, it's really hard to say anything, but you put your arm around that person and you squeeze tight, and I don't know, it goes a long way. I know there have been times for me when I've lost people in my life, and the times where I've been able to connect with whoever, friend, family, and you're just hugging that person, and you just lost someone, you just want to squeeze them so tight, just that there's like 2 people and they're close, and you can, smell the other person, or you can maybe hear their heart beating or whatever. It's pretty amazing. It really is to have that kind of connection in this earth. It doesn't have to be a sad thing, it could just be anything. You haven't seen someone in like a long time, you give them a big hug. Anything, it really does. It does make a lot of difference. So these are the 5 love languages. So if you want to take this quiz, just go on Google, type in 5 love languages, and you will find this quiz. And they have it broken down for like couples and people who are single and kids and I think family and shit. So if you want to take it with your significant other and kind of get a better understanding, definitely something I would encourage. There's a book and all that shit. So if you want to take it to that next level, that's cool. But for me, it was neat to just go through, take this little quiz and see what 5 love languages, how they stacked up for me. All right, everyone. So that's the self-care portion of my podcast. Again, thanks for joining me here. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Podcast True Blue. So I thought I would read a couple of poems from this Haiku Anthology. It's called Haiku Moment, an anthology of contemporary North American haiku. I like these because haikus are so short, and these anthologies have like 500 different poems. So it's really cool, and they're really inspiring. There's sometimes where I'll read some of these, and I want to write my own version of it. And that's a cool little exercise. You're not copying it, but you're taking the theme and trying to write your own version. It's kind of a cool little exercise that I've done from time to time. So I'm just going to read through these. I'm really not going to shout out the author because there's so many. It's called Haiku Moment. So you can find it on Amazon. It has like a frog on it, like a toad. Yeah, so check it out. Okay, so I'm going to read some of these poems. I've not looked through this. Usually sometimes what I'll do is I'll, highlight some and whatever. But when I got this book, I circled them and highlighted them. So I figured, I would just go off of that. All right, so here goes. Let's read some poetry here. A crow flies, becoming the darkness on an autumn evening. It's pretty cool. Crows are really smart, by the way. I don't know that much about birds, but I know crows are pretty fucking smart. One eye open, the cat eyes the fly, the long, slow day. It's pretty cool. Without a thought, the neighbor's backyard turns green. November, no sound from the mourning dove except its wings. Read that again. November, no sound from the mourning dove except its wings. The cardinal wipes his beak on a twig and takes another berry. Autumn twilight, only the foam of the waterfall. That's cool. Even the cellar rats sleeping late this snowy morning. Midday blizzard, not seeing beyond the pines, not seeing the pines. Love that. I love how like visual these are. They're just like a moment in time that are just captured. Twilight deepens, the wordless things I know. I like that. Clean summer breeze, the curtain as far out the window as it will go. Reads kind of funny. Let's see here. Hard rain, the carp all gathered under the bridge. Autumn wind, a frog singing under my hot tub. Okay. New leaves, a day at a time, creeping up the mountain. In the yellow sun on the meadow, suddenly, grasshopper. Cloudy day, half a load of clothes in the wash. Late summer, just waiting for the leaves to come down. From her window, at sundown, at moondown. Love that. Alone in the rain, even my shadow washed away. No stars tonight, but the fireflies so close you can touch them. Suddenly here, grasshopper on my knee, suddenly gone. Love that. I have one that's kind of like that about a hummingbird. Listening as the wave retreats into itself. Summer afternoon, a beach umbrella no one comes to. Coming home in the empty bed, just winter moon. How delicately a black cat crosses the frozen field. Glass doors, the old cat pauses before entering the night. Evening rain, the downrush of day into shadow. It's pretty cool. Already the bees have discovered the flowers on the new grave. That's so cool. I mean, God, like that paints such a picture. Light morning mist, only the roller coaster rises above the trees. Man, roller coasters. I haven't been on a roller coaster in forever, man. That was something I used to be very afraid of heights until I was like in 9th grade, and then my friend and his mom took me to Virginia, and we went to Busch Gardens, and I wasn't going to let someone take me on vacation and not go on a roller coaster. So I did, and I loved it. Loved it so much. I used to go a bunch with friends, and I loved sitting right in the front. That way you get to see everything first. And it's kind of cool because I was like, as much as I was enjoying, I was conquering a fear. And from what I remember about being on roller coasters is you feel so young. You really do. It's like you're not in control. You're with all these people. Everyone's screaming, having a good time. You're going all over the place. And something about it is so like young and youthful to me. It just brings up those kind of feelings. Really cool. All right, so I'm going to read 5 more, okay? Hold me to 5. All right. Let me see here. A brown leaf floats where yesterday I swam with a friend. The still air before and after my passing. Hiking into the clouds, the view within. All right, 2 more. Let's see here. In a blizzard, the city becoming these few blocks. Hell yeah, can definitely relate to that. All right, last one. Second snowfall, and still the leaves cling. It's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, this is from Haiku Moment. Just a moment in time, everybody. A moment in time, like that. Like that. I hate when I'm like trying to make a point and I don't snap like at the right volume, or it doesn't really happen. It just sucks. It really just takes the wind out of your sail. So you guys try it again. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so we're on to the last segment, the song of the week. So the song I chose this week is by a band called One Day as a Lion. The song is called Last Letter. Now, this is a band that has Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine and Inside Out in it. And it also has a great drummer named John Theodore. I'd say he's probably one of my favorite drummers. I would say so. He, I found out about him first on the Mars Volta. They have an album called Francis the Mute. It came out in 2005. He played drums on that album, and it's fucking phenomenal. Check it out. It's called Francis the Mute by the Mars Volta, and John Theodore is the drummer on that. But anyway, on this, he teamed up with Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine, and it's a great pairing. It's more stripped down. There's actually some like keyboards on this. Really cool. Similar vibe with Rage Against the Machine. This is a little more hip hop than it is like kind of rock. But really good blend. The drumming on this song, especially the song is called Last Letter, is great. It's definitely the standout song for me, and I mean personally, I'd say for most people who would listen to this EP. It's like a 5-song EP. And just the way he flows through the song with his drumming, the accents, it really stands out to me. And then there's a part, it's like the bridge going into the last verse. His drum fills sound so tight and so good. I find myself air drumming to that more than any other song in the past like couple of years. It's such a tight song. It's such a good drumming song. You gotta check the song out. It's called Last Letter. It's by One Day as a Lion. They only did this. It was like a side project thing. One of the better side projects, though, in my opinion. They just put out this one EP. I think it came out in like 2008. Wish they had a little bit more music, but I love this EP and this song, Last Letter by One Day as a Lion. Gotta check it out. All right. So that's it, everybody. We done did it. We survived. Oh, wow. A little over 30 minutes. Anyway, this is session 11. This is the True Blue Podcast. I am your host, Zachary Succardi. Again, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Podcast True Blue. Really good to be here with everyone. I hope you guys stay safe. Have a happy St. Paddy's Day, and I will catch up with you guys next week. Peace.